The Bicyclers by John Kendrick Bangs. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Characters.
Mr. Thaddeus Perkins, a beginner, read by Robert Hoffman.
Mrs. Thaddeus Perkins, a resistant, read by Elizabeth Klett.
Jenny, read by Kristingj.
Mr. Edward Bradley, a scoffer, read by Todd.
Mr. Robert Yardsley, read by Chuck Williamson.
Mr. Jack Barlow, another enthusiast, read by David Lawrence.
Mrs. Edward Bradley, an enthusiast, read by Amanda Friday.
The scene is laid in the drawing-room of Mr. and Mrs. Thaddeus Perkins at No. Gramercy Square. It is late October. The action begins at 8:30 o'clock on a moonlight evening. The curtain rising discloses Mr. and Mrs. Perkins sitting together. At right is large window facing on square. At rear is entrance to drawing-room. Leaning against doorway is a safety bicycle. Perkins is clad in bicycle garb.
Well, Bess, I'm in for it now. No mistake. Bob and Jack are coming tonight to give me my first lesson in biking.
I'm very glad of it, Thaddeus. I think it will do you a world of good. You've been working too hard of late, and you need relaxation.
I know that, but from what I can gather, learning to ride a wheel isn't the most restful thing in the world. There's a good deal of lying down about it, but it comes with too great suddenness. That is, so Charlie Cheeseborough says. He learned up at the academy, and he told me that he spent most of his time making dents in the floor with his head.
Well, I heard differently. Emma Bradley learned there at the same time he did, and she said he spent most of his time making dents in the floor with other people's heads. Why, really, he drove all the ladies to wearing those odious Psyche knots. The time he ran into Emma, if she hadn't worn her back hair that way, she'd have fractured her skull.
They all tell the same story. Barlow said he always wore a beaver hat while Cheeseborough was on the floor, so that if Charlie ran into him and he took a header, his brain wouldn't suffer.
Nevertheless, Mr. Cheeseborough learned more quickly than anyone else in the class.
So Barlow said, because he wasn't eternally in his own way, as he was in everyone else's.
A ring is heard at the front door.
Ah, I guess that's Bob and Jack.
Enter Jenny.
Mr. Bradley, ma'am.
Bradley? Wonder what the deuce he's come for. He'll guy the life out of me.
Enter Bradley. He wears a dinner coat.
Ah, Brad, old chap, how are you? Glad to see you.
Good evening, Mrs. Perkins. This your eldest?
With a nod at Perkins.
My eldest?
Yes. Judged from his togs, it was your boy. What? Can it be? You? Thaddeus?
That's who I am.
When did you go into short trousers?
With a feeble laugh, glancing at his clothes.
Oh, these. I'm taking up the bicycle. Even if it weren't for the exhilaration of riding, it's a luxury to wear these clothes. Old flannel shirt, old coat, old pair of trousers shortened to the knee, and golf stockings. I've had these golf stockings 2 years and never had a chance to wear 'em till now.
You've got it bad, haven't you? How many lessons have you had?
None yet. Fact is, just got my wheel. That's it over there by the door. Pneumatic tires, tool chest, cyclometer, lamp, all for $100.
Well, what about life insurance? Do they throw in a policy for that? They ought to.
No, but they would if I'd insisted. Competition between makers is so great, they'll give you almost anything to induce a bargain. The only thing they really gave me extra is the kaye gun.
The what?
Kaye gun. It shoots dogs. Dog comes out, catches sight of your leg.
Mistakes it for a bone and grabs, eh?
Well, I fancy that's about the size of it. You can't very well get off, so you get out your kaye gun and shoot ammonia into the beast's face. Doesn't hurt the dog, but it gives him something to think of. I'll show you how the thing works.
Gets the gun from toolbox.
This is the deadly weapon, and I'm the rider, see?
Sits on a chair with face to back and works imaginary pedals.
You're the dog. I'm passing the farmyard. Bow wow! Out you spring. Grab me by the bone. I mean the leg. Poof! I shoot you with the ammonia.
Suits action to the word.
Hi, hold on.
Starting back.
Don't squirt that infernal stuff at me. My dear boy, get a grip on yourself. I'm not really a Ki-yi, and why I don't like bicyclists, their bones are safe from me. I won't bite you.
Really, I think that's a very ingenious arrangement. Don't you, Mr. Bradley?
I do indeed. But as long as they're talking about it, I must say I think what Thaddeus really needs is a motorman gun, to squirt ammonia, or even beer, into the faces of those cable car fellows. They're more likely to interfere with him than dogs, don't you think?
It's a first-rate idea, Brad. I'll suggest it to my agent.
Your what?
Well, I call him my agent, although really I've only bought this one wheel from him. He represents the Czar Manufacturing Company.
They make czars, do they?
With dignity.
They make wheels. The man who owns the company is named Czar. I refer to him as my agent, because from the moment he learned I thought of buying a wheel he came and lived with me. I couldn't get rid of him, and finally in self-defense I bought this wheel. It was the only way I could get rid of him.
Aha! That's the milk in the coconut, eh? Hadn't force of mind to get rid of the agent. Couldn't say no? Humph! I wonder why you, a man of sense, a man of dignity, a gentleman, should take up with this.
See here, Brad. I like you very much, but I must say...
Thaddeus. Shh. By the way, Mr. Bradley, where is Emma this evening? I never knew you to be separated before.
Sorrowfully.
This is the first time, Mrs. Perkins. Fact is, we'd intended calling on you tonight, and I dressed as you see me. Emma was in proper garb, too, but when she saw what a beautiful night it was, she told me to go ahead, and she... By Jove, it almost makes me weep.
She wasn't taken ill?
No, worse. She said, you go down on the L, I'll bike. It's such a splendid night. Fine piece of business, this. To have a bicycle come between man and wife is a pretty hard fate, I think, for the one who doesn't ride.
Then Emma is coming here.
That's the idea, on her wheel. Coming down the boulevard, across 72nd Street, through the Park, down Madison, across 23rd, down 4th to 21st, then here.
Bully ride, that.
Alone?
I hope so.
Sadly.
But these bicyclists have a way of flocking together. For all I know, my beloved Emma may now be coasting down Murray Hill, escorted by some bicycle club from Jersey City.
Oh, dear. Mr. Bradley.
Oh, it's all right, I assure you, Mrs. Perkins. Perfectly right and proper. It's merely part of the exercise, don't you know? There's a hail-fellow-well-metness about enthusiastic bicyclists, and Emma is intensely enthusiastic. It gives her a chance, you know, and Emma has always wanted a chance. Independence is the thing she's been after ever since she got her freedom, and now, thanks to the wheel, she's got it again. And even I must admit it's harmless. Funny she doesn't get here, though.
Looking at his watch.
She's had time to come down twice.
Bicycle bells are heard ringing without.
Maybe that is she now. Go and see, will you, Thaddeus?
Exit Perkins. Without.
That you, Mrs. Bradley?
Mrs. Perkins and Bradley listen intently.
No, it's us, Perk. Got your wheel?
Where can she be?
Enter Perkins with Barlow and Yardsley. They both greet Mrs. Perkins.
Hello, Brad. You going to have a lesson too?
Dressed for it, aren't you, by Jove? Nothing like a dinner coat for a bicycle ride. Your coat-tails don't catch in the gear.
Severely.
I haven't taken it up. Fact is, I don't care for fads. Have you seen my wife?
Yes. Saw her the other night at the Academy. Rides mighty well, too, Brad. Don't wonder you don't take it up. Contrast, you know? Eh, Perk? A fearful thing for a man to have the world see how much smarter his wife is than he is.
Turning to his wheel.
Bradley's a little worried about the non-arrival of Mrs. Bradley. She was coming here on her wheel, and started the same time he did.
Oh, that's all right, Ned. She knows her wheel as well as you know your business. Can't come down quite as fast on the L, particularly these nights just before election. She may have fallen in with some political parade and is waiting to get across the street.
Aside.
Well, I like that.
Aside.
Why, it's awful.
Or she may possibly have punctured her tire. That would delay her 15 or 20 minutes. Don't worry, my dear boy, I showed her how to fix a punctured tire all right. It's simple enough. You take the rubber thing they give you and fasten it to that metal thingamabob, glue it up, poke it in, pull it out, pump her up, and there you are.
Scornfully.
You told her that, did you?
I did.
With a mock sigh of relief.
You don't know what a load you've taken off my mind.
Thaddeus.
Looking at his watch.
It's 9 o'clock. I move we go out and have the lesson, eh? The moon is just right.
Yes, we can't begin too soon. Wheel all right?
Guess so. I'm ready.
I'll go out to the corner and see if there's any sign of Mrs. Bradley.
Exit.
I do wish Emma would come.
Gazing out of window for some moments.
I can't understand how women can do these things. Riding down here all alone at night. It is perfectly ridiculous.
Rolling Perkins's wheel into middle of room.
Czar wheel, eh?
Meekly.
Yes. Best going, they tell me.
Can't compare with the Alberta. Has a way of going to pieces like the one Hoss Shay, eh, Bob?
Exactly. When you least expect it, too. Though the Alberta isn't much better. You get coasting on either of 'em, and halfway down, bang! The front wheel collapses, hind wheel flies up and hits you in the neck. Handlebar turns just in time to stab you in the chest. And there you are, miles from home, a physical, moral, bicycle wreck. But arena wheel is different. In fact, I may say that the only safe wheel is the arena. That's the one I ride. However, at $50, this one isn't extravagant.
I paid 100.
Oh, what?
100.
Well, you are a good fellow. It's a pretty wheel anyhow, eh, Bob?
Simple beauty. Is she pumped up?
Beg your pardon?
Pumped up. Tires full and tight. Ready for action. Support an elephant?
Guess so. The agent said it was perfect.
Extra nuts?
What?
Extra nuts. Nuts extra. Suppose you lose a nut and your pedal comes off. What are you going to do? Get a tow?
Guess Perkins thinks this is like going to sleep.
I don't know anything about it. What I'm after is information. Only, I give you warning, I will not ride so as to get round shoulders.
Then where's your wrench? Screw up your bar, hoist your handles, elevate your saddle, and you're okay. What saddle have you?
Tapping it.
This.
Not very good, but we'll try it. Come on, it's getting late.
They go out, Perkins reluctantly. In a moment he returns alone, and, rushing to Mrs. Perkins, kisses her affectionately.
Goodbye, dearest.
Goodbye. Don't hurt yourself, Thaddeus.
Exit Perkins. Leaving window and looking at clock on mantel.
10 minutes past 9, and Emma not here yet. It does seem too bad that she should worry Ed so much just for independence sake. I am quite sure I should never want to ride a wheel anyhow, and even if I did—
Enter Yardsley hurriedly, with a piece of flannel in his hand.
I beg pardon, Mrs. Perkins, but have you a shawl strap in the house?
What is that you have in your hand, Mr. Yardsley?
That?
With a glance at the piece of flannel.
Oh, that's a piece of flannel.
Snatching the flannel from Yardsley's hand.
But Teddy, isn't that a piece of Teddy's shirt?
More than that, Mrs. Perkins, it's the greatest part of Teddy's shirt. That's why we wanted the shawl strap. When we started him off, you know, he took his coat off. Jack held on to the wheel, and I took Hetty in the fullness of his shirt. 1, 2, 3. Teddy put on steam. Parlow let go. Teddy went off. I held on. This is what remained. It ruined the shirt, but Teddy is safe.
Aside.
Barring about 60 or 70 bruises.
With a faint smile.
And the shawl strap?
I want to fasten it around Teddy's waist. Grab hold of the handle and so hold him up. He's all right, so don't worry.
Exit Mrs. Perkins in search of shawl strap.
I guess I'd better not say anything about the Pond's extract he told me to bring. Doesn't need it anyhow. Man's got to get used to leaving pieces of his ankle bone on the curbstone if he wants to learn to ride the wheel. Only worry her if I asked her for it. Won't hurt him to suffer a week.
Enter Bradley.
Has she come yet?
No, just gone upstairs for a shawl strap.
Shawl strap? Who?
Outside.
Hurry up with that Pond's extract, will you?
All right, coming. Who? Who what?
Who has gone upstairs after shawl strap? My wife?
No. Hasn't she got here yet? It's Mrs. Perkins. Perk fell off just now and broke in two. We want to fasten him together.
Outside.
Bring out that pump. His wheel's flabby.
Enter Mrs. Perkins with shawl strap.
Here it is. What did I hear about Pond's extract? Didn't somebody call for it?
No, not a bit of it. What you heard was shawl strap. Sounds like extract. Very much like it. In fact...
But you did say you wanted...
Shut up!
Aside to Bradley.
Thaddeus banged his ankle, but he'll get over it in a minute. She'd only worry. The best bicyclers in the world are all the time falling off, taking headers, and banging their ankles.
Poor Emma!
Enter Barlow.
Where the deuce is that
Here it is.
Grasping him by the arm and pushing him out.
The X-strap. Just what we wanted.
Aside to Bradley.
Go down to the drugstore and get a bottle of Pond's, will you?
Exit. Walking to window.
She can't be long in coming now.
I guess I'll go out to the corner again.
Aside.
Best bicyclers always smashing ankles, falling off, taking headers. If I ever get hold of Emma again...
Rushes out.
I'll see whether she'll ride that.
Oh, it seems to have made these men crazy. I never saw such strange behavior in all my life.
The telephone bell rings.
What can that be?
Goes to phone, which stands just outside parlor door.
Hello? What? Yes, this is 1181. Yes. Who are you? What? Emma? Oh dear, I'm so glad. Are you alive? Where are you? What? Where? The police station?
Turning from telephone.
Thaddeus, Mr. Barlow, Mr. Yardsley.
Into telephone.
Hello? What for? What? Riding without a lamp? Arrested at 42nd Street? Want to be bailed out?
Drops receiver. Rushes into parlor and throws herself on sofa.
Oh, to think of it! Emma Bradley!
Telephone bell rings violently again. Mrs. Perkins goes to it.
Hello? Yes? Tell Ed what? To ask for Mrs. Willoughby Hawkins? Who's she? What, you?
Drops the receiver, runs to window.
Thaddeus! Mr. Yardsley, Mr. Barlow, all of you come here quick.
They rush in. Perkins with shawl strap about his waist, limping. Barlow has large air pump in his hand. Mrs. Perkins grows faint.
Great heavens, what's the matter?
Get some water, quick.
Yardsley runs for water.
Oh, air! Give me air!
Don't stand there like an idiot.
Grabbing pump from Barlow's hand.
Act, she wants air.
Places pump on floor and begins to pump air at her.
Who's the idiot now? Wheel her over to the window. She's not a bicycle.
They do so. Mrs. Perkins revives.
What is the matter?
Mrs. Willoughby Hawkins, arrested, 42nd Street, no lamp, bailed out. Oh, dear me, it'll be in all the papers.
What's that got to do with us? Who's Mrs. Willoughby Hawkins?
Emma, assumed name.
Good Lord. Mrs. Bradley in jail?
This is a nice piece of... Ow, my ankle, my ankle.
Enter Bradley and Yardsley at the same time. Bradley with bottle of Pond's extract, Yardsley with glass of water.
Where the deuce did you fellows go to? I've been wandering all over the square looking for you.
Your wife...
What?
Dropping bottle.
What about her? Hurt?
Worse.
Killed?
Worse. Locked up. In jail. No bail. Wants to be lamped out.
Good heavens! Where? When? What next? Where's my hat? What'll the baby say? I must go to her at once.
Hold on, old man. Let me go up. You're too excited. I know the police captain. You stay here, and I'll run up and fix it with him. If you go, he'll find out who Mrs. Hawkins is. You'll get mad, and things will be worse than ever.
But...
No buts, my dear boy. You just stay where you are. Yardley's right. It would be an awful grind on you if this ever became known. Bob can fix it up in 2 minutes with the captain, and Mrs. Bradley can come right back with him. Besides, he can get there in 5 minutes on his wheel. It will take you 20 on the cars.
Precisely. Meanwhile, Brad, you'd better learn to ride the wheel, so that Mrs. B won't have to ride alone. This ought to be a lesson to you.
Bully idea.
Rubbing his ankle.
You can use my wheel. Tonight, I think I've had enough for the present.
Aside.
The pavements aren't soft enough for me, and, oh, Lord, what a stony curb that was.
I never thought I'd get so low.
Well, it seems to me that a man with a wife in jail needn't be too stuck up to ride a bicycle. But bye-bye, I'm off.
Exit.
Poor Emma. Out for freedom, and lands in jail. What horrid things policemen are, to arrest a woman.
Served her right. If women won't obey the law, they ought to be arrested, the same as men. If she wasn't my wife, I'd like to see her sent up for 10 years. Or even 20 years. Women have got no business...
Don't get mad, Brad. If you knew the fascination of the wheel, you wouldn't blame her a bit.
Calming down.
Well, I suppose it has some fascination.
Anxious to escape further lessons.
Oh, indeed. It's a most exhilarating sensation. You seem to be flying like a bird over the highways. Try it, Ned. Go on, right away. You don't know how that little ride I had braced me up.
Hear that. There's a man who's ridden only 8 inches in all his life, and he says he felt like a bird.
Aside.
Yes, like a spring chicken split open for broiling. Next time I ride a wheel, it'll be 4 wheels, with a horse fastened in front. Oh my, oh my. I believe I've broken my back, too.
Lies down.
You seem to be exhilarated, Thaddeus.
Bracing up.
Oh, I am. Never felt worse. That is, better.
Come on, Brad. I'll show you the trick in 2 jiffies. It'll relieve your worry about Madame, too.
Very well. I suppose there's no way out of it. Only let me know as soon as Emma arrives, will you?
Yes, we will.
They go out. As they disappear through the door, Thaddeus groans aloud.
Why, what is the matter, dear? Are you hurt?
Oh, no, not at all, my love. Was only thinking of Mr. Jarley's indignation tomorrow when he sees the hole I made in his curbstone with my ankle. Oh, ow! And as for my back, while I don't think the whole spine is gone, I shouldn't be surprised if it had come through in sections.
Why, you poor thing! Why didn't you say?
Why didn't I say? My heavens, Bess! What did you think I wanted Pond's extract for? To drink? Or to water the street with? Oh, Lord!
Holding up his arm.
There aren't any ribs sticking out, are there?
Outside.
The other way. There. That's it. You've got it.
Outside.
Why, this is easy, isn't it?
Easy. That fellow'd find comfort in...
Now you're off. Not too fast.
Walking to window.
Why, Thaddeus, he's going like the wind down the street.
Heaven help him when he comes to the river.
Rushing in.
Here we are in trouble again. Brad's gone off on my wheel. Bob's taken his, and your tire's punctured. He doesn't know the first thing about turning or stopping, and I can't run fast enough to catch him. One member of the family is in jail, the other on a runaway wheel.
Yardley appears at door, assumes attitude of butler, announcing guest.
Mrs. Willoughby Hawkins.
Enter Mrs. Bradley, hysterical.
Oh, Edward!
Throws herself into Barlow's arms.
Excuse me, Mrs. Hawkins, Bradley, but I'm not your husband.
Looking up tragically.
Where's Edward?
Sit down, dear. You must be completely worn out.
In alarm.
Where is he?
Fact is, Mrs. Bradley...
rising and standing on one leg.
We don't know. He disappeared 10 minutes ago.
What do you mean?
Disappeared?
Yes, he went east, at the rate of about a mile a minute.
My husband went east? Mile a minute?
Yes, on a bike. Yardsley, take me by the shawl strap, will you? And help me over to that chair. My back hurts so I can't lie down.
Ned, on a wheel? Why, he can't ride.
Oh, yes, he can. What I'm afraid of is that he can't stop riding.
Outside.
Hi, Barlow! Help!
That's his voice. He called for help.
Rushing to window.
Hi, Brad! Stop! Your wife's here!
In distance.
Can't stop! Don't know how!
By Jove,
Leaning out of window.
he's turned the corner all right. If he keeps on around, we'll catch him next time he passes.
Oh, do stop him. I'm so afraid he'll be hurt.
Looking out.
I can just see him on the other side of the square. And, oh, dear me, his lamp is out.
Oh, Mr. Yardsley, Mr. Barlow, Mr. Perkins, do stop him.
By this time all are gazing out of window except Perkins, who is nursing his ankle.
I guess not. I'm not going to lie down in the road, or sit in the road, or stand in the road to stop him or anybody else. I don't believe I've got a sound bone left. But if I have, I'm going to save it, if Bradley kills himself. If his lamp's out, the police will stop him. Why not be satisfied with that?
Passing the window.
For heaven's sake! One of you fellows stop me!
Put on the brake.
Fall off! It hasn't got a brake.
Despairingly in distance.
Can't!
This is frightful.
Yes,
With a grimace at his ankle.
but there are other fearful things in this world.
I shall go crazy if he isn't stopped. He'll kill himself.
I have it.
Leaving window hurriedly.
Got a length of clothesline, Mrs. Perkins?
What the dickens?
Yes.
She rushes from the room.
What for?
I'll lasso him next time he comes around.
There'll be 2 of us.
With a grin.
We can start a hospital on the top floor.
Returning.
Here's the line.
Yardsley takes it hurriedly, and tying it into a noose, hastens out. Rising.
If I never walk again, I must see this.
Limps to window.
He's coming, Mr. Yardsley. Don't miss him.
Steady, Bob. Get in the light.
Suppose it catches his neck.
This beats the Wild West show.
A crash.
He's
got
got
him.
him.
All rush out except Perkins.
Oh, yes, he learned in a minute, he did. Easy. Ha ha, gad. It almost makes me forget my pain.
Enter all asking, "Is he hurt? How do you feel?" etc. Yardsley has rope end in right hand, noose is tied about Bradley's body. His coat and clothing are much the worse for wear.
Poor dear Edward.
Don't mind me.
Weakly kissing her.
I'm all right. Only a little exhilarated, and somewhat breathless. Feel like a bird on toast. Yardsley, you're a brick. But that pavement, that was a pile of 'em, and the hardest I ever encountered. I always thought asphalt was soft. Who said asphalt was soft?
Easy to learn, though, eh?
Too easy. I'd have gone on forever if it hadn't been for Bob.
I'll give it up, Ned dear, if you say so.
Affectionately.
That's sweet of you, Emma.
No, indeed you won't. For I rather like it while it's going on, and when I learn to get off.
Which you will, very shortly.
You bet. He's a dandy. I taught him.
I think I'll adore it.
Buy a Czar wheel, Brad. Best in the market. Weighs only 20 pounds. I've got one with a Kaye pump and a pneumatic gun you can have for $10.
At the door.
Supper is served, ma'am.
Exit.
Let us go out and restore our nerves. Come, Emma.
She and Mrs. Bradley walk out. Aside.
I say, Brad, you owe me 5.
What for?
Bail.
Cheap, too.
Very. I think he ought to open a bottle besides.
I'll attend to the bottles. We'll have 3.
2 will be enough.
3. 2 of fizz for you and Bob and the ladies. And if Bradley will agree, I'll split a quart of Pond's extract with him.
I'll go you. I think I could take care of the whole quart myself.
Then we'll make it 4 bottles.
Appearing at door with her arm about Mrs. Bradley.
Aren't you coming?
As fast as we can, my dear.
Rising with difficulty.
We've been taking lessons, you know, and can't move as rapidly as the rest of you. We're a trifle tired. Yardsley, you tow Bradley into the dining room, and, Barlow, kindly pretend I'm a shawl, will you? And carry me in.
I'll buy a wheel tomorrow.
Don't, Brad. I'll give you mine. Fact is, old man, I don't exactly like feeling like a bird.
They go out, and as the last, Perkins and Bradley, disappear stiffly through the portieres, the curtain falls. End of The Bicyclers, by John Kendrick Bangs.